Alright, our first combat will feature the 8th Regiment Hussars going against a square. Now there's 2 squares in this hex, but the lead square will be the top one, so we'll have combat against it, and we'll find out if the one below it wants to make a stand. Alright, then before we do, the old boys next to him will roll on a fire combat table underneath the 8 marker. And here's what's going on with this, as these boys here run the charge. This unit here will fire as per the assaulted charged units and units adjacent to the charging units that have not been or will not be assaulted themselves may execute 1 defensive fire according to the fire combat rules. So therefore, they usually fire with 4, but it's times 2 when they're in line. 8 or greater, rolling 2 dice. Ooh, modifiers. Let me see here. Snow, snowstorm, target as artillery, target as obstructed hex. Artillery, defensive fire, that's +1. French infantry against infantry, nope. Alright, +1 on this roll, looking for an 8 or more. Ooh, 10. Here we go. They lose 1 strength point. So, there you go. Alright, effective fire. Next will be 5 doubled. So we'll be underneath the 10 table. Ooh, I stand corrected. We have a square modifier. A square, 2 strength points per max per direction. So we'll only be going over here to the 2 column with a +1 modifier. Alright, I think we're all good to go. +1. Let me see here. Under the 2. Oh, that won't do nothing. Alright, so then fire from him was effective, non-effective, and we'll begin with the assault with the Hussars and what are those again? The Chasseurs. Ooh, Cheval. Yeah, Chasseurs Cheval. There you go. Be right back. Going from the fire combat, we'll switch to the assault charge table. We have 17 strength points versus a 5. So let's go over here, look for our little pointer. This one's good enough to be good enough. 3 to 1. Cavalry assaulting. We get a +2. Die roll modifier. Alright, my mistake, wrong column. -3, I thought +3. Going the wrong way. So we are -3 on a tally stick. Give him a +1, being Russian. -2 on a tally. Ooh, charge for more than 1 hex. -1. Looking good with a -3. Alright, I don't know about this one. Charge to the flank. You're in square. I don't think neither of those apply. It's only a line or column formation, so we won't give them that. In square formation, charged by cavalry, so there's a killer. +4. Puts us at a +1 on that tally stick. Ouch. Alright, that'll take care of the Russian units being charged. Down here for any possible French modifiers. Per loss due to, yeah, we lost strength points due to defensive fire, so we get another +1. Puts us at +2. Alright, here's another key one. Is our 1 or more cavalry at a short distance or adjacent, where we don't have no charging power, we're right next to them. Another +2. Somebody say don't charge a square. We're +4. And that will be it. Look there, there's no more modifiers that apply. No leader, no obstructions. So French are rolling 2 die, looking for 7 or less. +4. Need the ultimate low roll. See how it turns out. Ooh. You see 5, that'll be a 9. That's not going to do it. As a matter of fact, the defender holds a position, and the attacker takes 1 strength point loss. Oh, it could be worse. But yeah, we didn't break the square, and both units suffer a strength point loss. Alright, strength points go from here to here. Alright, and they hold. So it would be probably predictable. This is what you get. We got cavalry going against squares, and you're right adjacent to them. You don't get that, that inertia of bam. You're just right next to them, so you don't get much power. I like that. I definitely like that result. Could have been we got a pretty low die roll as it was. So those modifiers are a killer. So yeah, Joseph's cavalry not quite doing it as would be expected. Huh. Alright, next will be this one. He's going by himself against this unit. So first of all, he'll be able to fire with 2 strength points at one side. So 2 strength points. Ooh, let's go to the fire table. Let me check this out real quick. With a +1 modifier for defensive fire under the 2 column because they're in square. Ooh, 9. That's not bad. 2 with a 9. Oh, it still comes up short. Alright. Now we come back, we'll go on with our next assault. This one was a failure. They hung strong. They didn't get any step losses either. So there you go. We'll be right back. Alright, tally stick at 0 for our next one. 8 strength points. Already fired, didn't do anything from square. Versus 5, so we're at a 1-to-1. We need the assault table. Under the 1-to-1. Ooh. 1-to-1 charge. Oh, that's 0. No modifier there. So, Russian +1. Going the wrong way. Alright. Let me see here. We don't get the charge for more than 1 hex bonus. From 1 hex bonus, rather. Charge through the flank. Yeah, that don't matter on a square. In square formation. Infantry in square formation charged by cavalry +4 up to +5. Not a mark you want to see. Alright, I think that is it. Yep, no leader present. I think we said earlier we don't want this attack to happen, so the proper procedure for this is movements, then declaring all assaults and charges, and then you go ahead and resolve them. So, since I'm playing myself, and this is a ridiculous attack, and I do think earlier we decided that this boy would not. So, well, we'll roll the dice. Whoever gets the higher one. Russians say, yeah, you get a charge no matter what. French need a 5 or 6. They don't get it, so they're charging at bad odds with a +5. He didn't get the memo. When the courier said, stop. But anyway, +5. Ouch. That is not good. +5, +5. 7 or less. Need snake eyes. Ooh. Yeah. 9 or more. Defender holds a position. The attacker only takes a strength points loss, so the attacker don't have to do anything. Oh. Well, that's not too bad. Alright. So, yeah, ill-advised. Totally. There you go. Well, considering all, it wasn't too bad, but still, yeah, valuable strength points lost. Alright, Russian squares doing their job. All 3 of these units have assaulted or charged and did not crack the nuts and taking casualties. So our next one, hopefully this one works, we can swing on around, but yeah. We got these assaults to go too, so take a little break, we'll be right back. Alright, now for the final defensive fire. Rules are kind of vague. They do say when you fire at assaulting units, if you're assaulted from more than one hex, you have to split your fire. But he's only going to be shooting with 2 strength points, so I mean, I guess we can roll on each one. 1 strength point at least. So let's see here. 1 strength point. Yep, he needs double. Let's see what happens here. We'll do it. So in other words, this square is going to fire at each one. One roll. It needs 12s. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. So he just wasting his slugs, his bullets, or his balls. Those musket balls. Alright, now we get down to it. No effective defensive fire. We'll be adding up these strength points. The only thing that's going to help us is 14. Looks like he took a hit though. He is not at 8, 9. He is at 8. So, pause. Alright, then 22 strength points versus an 8. He's not reduced. Oh, 22 versus 8. I think we got us a 2 to 1. You see here, we need the assault table under 2 to 1. -2. A little bit of a buffer on a tally stick. Then we go the wrong way with a +1 for home cooking advantage. It goes a -1. Oh, what else we got here? Nope. Charge for more than 1 hex, yes. That's a -1. Alright. There you go. -2. Get out here a ways. What else is going to save us? Charge to the flank, no. Charge to the rear, no. We don't do that with a square. And we get the big in square formation charged by cavalry and a +4. +2 die roll modifier. Alright, that is it. Charging units. We didn't suffer any losses for defensive fire, so that's good. At a short distance adjacent. Yeah, that sucks. It's +2. There you go. On the positive side. You know what we might possibly get, or that we will get, is a leader present. -1, his leader ranking. Wow. Unfortunately, Joseph's only has a 1. Let me see, is that his leader ranking? Yeah. So -1 gives us a +3 on this die roll. That is tough. That is tough. Yep. They're strong. They had 8 strength points. We can only muster 2 to 1. Alright. Need a low roll with a +3 modifier. 7 or less. Oh, not good. Not good. +3. So I guess everybody's taking a hit. There you go. Be right back. Alright, from these strength points here, currently 2. Those strength points. There we go. Total bogged down attack. Made absolutely, positively no progress. Every unit took a hit. Note to self. Gallop away from squares. And I think it is when you do leave these. Earlier during the whole game, I've been saying these units are locked in. They're not really locked in. You could always bail and get out, but they're gonna be firing at you. So bail with the cost. If they hit you, I guess there's a chance they wouldn't hit the die roll. But yeah, you could always leave, but you will get a defensive fire fired against you. All right, there you go. No progress with the cavalry charge in the squares. All right, next. We have this unit, and this unit going. Guess it'll be these two. We'll leave that square alone, and we found us a unit that couldn't make square in time. So they're little bumbling rookies. But they're not rookies. Looks like they are a veteran unit. They just didn't get their shit together and didn't get momentum square, so it would be 1, 2 against 1. Maybe we'll do this. 1 against 1. 1, 2 against this one right here. That'll be the extent of the 4th Division's attacks. Hopefully more successful in this front. Be right back. Alright, then we got the Russians getting some major payback versus cavalry when they're in their square formation. Definitely decimated some. I don't know about decimated, might be too strong a word, but definitely hammered themselves some. Ooh, Chasseurs et Cheval, or a Cheval. All these units here. Some Chasseurs. Now we come swinging on over here, and the thing we got to do now is get this artillery somehow next to them. Artillery versus square is what the antidote is. So we'll come over here. We have the 3rd Regiment coming on up. Now the first thing is these little boys here are going to fire 2 strength points at them, or 2. Let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, 2 firing strength points because they're in square and they can only fire 2. It'd be a +1 modifier because it's defensive fire considered. We'll be rolling through 2 dice. 2 Russian dice. With a 2, and they need 11 or more, so there you go. Little pock shot at the passing cavalry. Oh, they aced it. Alright, 2 with a 12 is a 1, so little charging cavalry gets flank shot. A bunch of horses go down with their riders. Alright, getting hammered equals down to 5 strength points. Alright, also, the main unit that they are charging will be firing with, that says 8 there, but they can only fire when they're in line formation a maximum of 4 strength points times 2, so he'll be shooting 8 strength points, rolling 2 die with a +1 modifier for defensive fire. Looking for that big number again, see if they're on it. Chasseurs charging on in. +1. Ooh, 8. I don't know if that'll do anything. With 8 strength points, it's an 8. Oh, it nails it down again. 1. Ooh. So here you go. Alright. That won't begin the assault, but they are not in square formation. But they got their fire in. They got their worst in. Hold on a second here. Press pause. We did a little bit of damage. Had some counters flying right back. The charge will consist of the Chasseurs. So 2 of their strength points go down against this unit, but they're not in square formation. Then these 2 regiments here will hammer after artillery. We'll see how it goes, and might get another defensive fire from this unit. We'll see how it all intermingles and comes out in the wash. We'll be right back. Alright, well, the Chasseurs in their charge is a little bit, the morale's going down because they've been withered by fire from both the square and the units they're charging. So they're actually charging with only 4 strength points versus, and these have been withered down also from previous combats to a 4 or to a 7. My mistake. So we're looking at a 1 to 2, 1 to 2 attack, and under the charge table at 1 to 2 gives us a +1 modifier to start off with. All right, hoping for some better modifiers. We're gonna have a +1 so far. Another +1 for home field advantage. Equals +2 so far. And that'll do it for the Russian units that are being charged. Now we'll go down here for hopefully some better modifiers for the French units. Alright, well, we get one more. because we lost strength points due to preceding fire, so another +1 equals a +3 on the tally stick so far. Alright, it gets worse. Here's what is our one or more cavalry at a short distance where we're adjacent. So that's another +2. Wow. Not looking good for the French hussars. See if we can get it going that way. Where's my stick at down here? Here we are. Get it going up this way. Alright, here's what we're looking for. Cavalry against infantry not in square, so we'll get 3 of those back. Alright, thank God for the tally stick. Although, like I said, it probably wouldn't be too hard to do it the other way. We do it all the time in games. Let me see here. Tired cavalry, exclusive heavy cavalry, charging uphill, downhill, no obstructed attacks, no leader present. So when the smoke clears, we're rolling with a +2. We need a 7 or less. So there you go. Strike up the charge music. Get out. There you go. We'll get out here. We get a +2. Needed a 7 or less. So far, it's been a disastrous cube activation for old Joseph. They're heading at it up on top of this little hill here. Ooh, bad odds because I took withering fire from the 2 units. +2 looking for a 7 or less. No roll. Not good. 6, 7, 8. That'll be a 9, 10. Yeah, +2. So I think we just take a step loss and stay put. The defender holds a position and the attacker takes 1 strike point loss. So we will be from this to a 3. Wow. Not good. Alright, so we'll try to salvage something from this activation with these 2 units here going against the artillery. This unit here, can you do defensive fire? He just got, I don't think so. So I think we'll be able to go in there with just him firing at one of us defensively. It'll have to be this unit here. You can only fire at a unit in front of you. Now this unit here can fire. We'll see what's going on with his front. I don't know about that. Yeah, unless he wants a pivot one. I don't know. We're not going to give it to him. There you go. We'll get it all straightened out. Take a little break. We'll get back. Alright, well, again, it's been a while since our last segment. We're ready for another late night gaming session. Here was our Battle of Eylau. And a little after action report. It is the cavalry's activation over here. And they are doing what cavalry does when they linger around squares. They're getting chewed up. So we're definitely got to extract from the situation, find out what's up with that. But yes, so far this has been a disaster of a turn for Joseph. Yeah, get his cavalry away from those squares. And you can see Russians. They got their squares on their flanks and everything else taken care of, which is doing its job. But over here again, so stay away from the squares. Wow. All right, we got one more battle down here. This old boy here attempted a charge, but got hammered by defensive fire. And that came up to naught. So yeah, the bad activation continues. Now we're going to be going with this unit here. This unit here going against the artillery. This unit here with Essen in it is facing this way, so he really can't fire at this boy like we did here. We gave him a defensive fire. Only two strength points, but it was what it was. I don't know if that. I think that square got a 12. Yeah, it's the old French need to, or the Russians need to play the lottery. It's their lucky day. So, all right. So we will first and foremost, this unit here gets a defensive fire against this unit here. Then we'll go on with the cavalry charge against it. It's a light infantry or light artillery. It's a little foot artillery, so it shouldn't do too much damage, but being adjacent to almost, you know what. And then would say he's up here on this hill. Firing on down. These old boys we'll check out the modifiers. If they cross a line, I don't see him crossing the line, but he might. We'll check out the terrain. Be back. All right, welcome to a cavalry charge versus an artillery occupied hex. First thing he's going to do is squeeze off a shot. Now he gets a 1 pivot. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to move this artillery. Oh, as a matter of fact, it's not just this artillery unit. We'll go ahead here. He's already taken a hit, so he's only got a 1 strength point, but another undamaged. This is a foot artillery, though. Unit below. So what we'll do is give him a pivot this way, and that'll go for him and the other artillery unit on top. All right, so we have 3 strength points that will be times 4. So there you go. We'll be rolling with 12 strength point column. There you go. Looking to get a 6 or more. Rolling 2 dice, and I think we'll have a modifier of, let me see, defensive fire. It's the only one I can see. +1. So 2 dice, 2 Russian dice, +1. There you go. All right, now, I do believe we might have to split this fire. I'm not sure. Rule legalese time. Assaulted charged units by several stacks. The defender must split its defensive fire. At least 1 strength point must fire at each eligible target. Alright then. Instead of underneath the 12 column, we'll go underneath the 6 column and roll for each hex with a +1 for defensive fire. So the first unit to be fired on will be this one right here. 2 dice +1. Ooh, 9. Which tabulates as a 1 strength point loss. So from a 4 to a 3. Alright, next roll. Against this unit here, it's been weakened already. So there you go. 6 strength points. +1. Oh, devastating. Let's see what we got here. And I do believe we get us a leader check. 13 is 2 strength points. Alright, then I'm going to need to check on I guess that might be a leader casualty check. Be right back. Alright, asterisks definitely mean you have to check for a leader casualty. If there was a leader involved, so we're good on that one. Alright, wow. -2 strength points. Yeah. Alright, press pause. You're right, we'll have a 2-to-1 charge. 6 strength points versus a 3, so that'll help us out. We're not done yet. So let me check this out real quick on the assault table. Alright, then 2-to-1 for cavalry gives us a -2 to start with on the tally stick. There you go, -2 versus a Russian unit, so we'll go back up 1. Still in the negative with a -1. Charge for more than 1 hex, another -1. Back to the -2, and then we avoided the charge to the flank with our pivot. So we're facing, they're charging through our front, which is good. There you go. And again, I might not be the smartest tool in the shed, but there was a bunch of errata in this game, so I'm figuring this is errata, because I always figured it's a house rule. We just put it into effect that getting charged for the rear is worse than getting charged for flank, but it could be subject to correction. But in this game, that's what we're doing, and they avoided it. So we go to the killer. Artillery alone in a hex. And I thought there were grenadiers in there, but there wasn't. There was another artillery unit, so we get a -5. That could be the coup de grace. Alright, the only ray of sunshine in this activation. We got a -7 so far. I think that's going to be it. Let me check this out. Alright, we're down here to strength points lost for defensive fire, so I'll get a +3 because there was 3 hits on us. Back down to a -4. Alright, hold on here. Short distance penalty for being adjacent and not having any cavalry inertia, +2. Alright, then still in the negative. Alright, we have some assaulting uphill modifiers, but I don't think that the old boy's going uphill. He's on the same level as him, but if you look at, well, you know what, we're going to have to charge him with that because he's up on a hill, he's not. I'm going to say he is, so we'll have to give the Russian unit another +2 modifier. We're rolling with no modifiers now, so I mean, I'm sure, you know, you could look at that and do it another way, but for me, and, you know, we're doing it for video purposes, this tally stick really comes in handy. I like this. And here you go. Another picture of old, who was that? Marat's cavalry charge. We'll just see, like I said, nah, it needs to have that hair flowing a little bit more. Alright, rolling 2 French die. Looking for a 7 or less. Wow. With no modifiers. Here we go. This is our last hope. Everything else has been a disaster. So looking for the ultimate low roll if you are rooting for the French. Ooh, 9 is not going to do it. Unmodified. That means that. Ooh. Defender holds a position. Attacker takes 1 strength point loss. Ouch. That'll be it for it. It's the most disastrous activation of Joseph. His cavalry falls flat on his face. I think we're going to get a strength point loss too. The Hussars have a bigger. Well, alright, sorry about that. Had my little lampy lamp fall down. But we have the old Chasseurs, or the Hussars can move 9. So we'll give the strength point loss to the Chasseurs Sabelle. And then it'll be looking like that. Alright, so, oops. Alright, hold on, I'm going to have to do something with this lamp. Hold on a second. Alright, do not want that sucker crashing on my head. Here we go. Let's see here. Where's a pointer when I need it? Ooh. Hold on. Alright then. That is it. That'll be the end of Joseph's activation. That was horrible. Didn't get anything. That could be a game changer. So we're back to a cube draw. Russians have had 3. French have had 2. State of the game. We're all set to go. Squares. Chewing up cavalry. As they were supposed to do. Wow. Alright, we'll be back. Next video. We'll call this a video. And we'll start the next one with our draw. We still haven't drawn a fire cup or fire cube yet. So, alright, we'll be back.